It was a signature win for Leeds boss Jesse Marsch yesterday as his side pummeled Chelsea 3-0 in the Premier League. Here is how they did it. Welcome to this week's Dearly Departed, and what a day for Leeds and Jesse Marsch. Marsch was the man charged with stepping into the extraordinary and somewhat unique shoes of Marcelo Bielsa during last season. His brief? To avoid relegation. It went all the way down to the last day, a little bit close to comfort, but he passed, and now Marsch has had a transfer window to start shaping the squad to his desires, and more pertinently, a whole pre-season to get his tactical ideas across. Leeds have started the season so well. An opening day win over Wolves was followed by a round 2 draw with Southampton. They were 2-0 up. It's a game they should probably have won as well. Given the opposition though, and the margin of victory, the win against Chelsea is far and away the most impressive performance so far from a Leeds side, now third in the early season table. The team Leeds put out yesterday featured 4 of Marsch's new signings in the starting lineup. The shape and strategy now look far more suited to what Marsch wants. The 4-1-4-1 we became very used to over the past years is well and truly gone. Now 2 holding midfielders in Tyler Adams and Mark Rocker. Significantly, 1 that they're new faces, and 2, that is the area of the pitch where perhaps Bielsa's greatest protege, Calvin Phillips, plied his trade, and he was obviously sold in the summer. The other new arrivals in were Rasmus Christensen at right back and Brendan Aronson in the number 10 position, a spot that hadn't really been utilised in the way that Marsch is doing prior to his arrival. When they won promotion and finished up in 9th spot in their first season, Leeds were very much known for their intensity in terms of pressing high up the pitch and extremely fast passing and constant forward runs from pretty much most areas of the pitch. This Leeds performance was intense, but intense in a totally different manner. The pressing is still there, but now there's tackling and aggression around it, which means that Leeds are potentially going to be much harder to play against when the chips are down, and that had been an issue, especially from a goals against point of view, for a fair while at the club. Leeds got themselves in front on 33, and look, we can talk about coordinated pressing when we look at the rest of the game, but this very much an example of an individual player's desire followed by an individual player's mistake. It's excellent from Aronson, isn't it, to close down Mendy, but it's an absolute car crash from the Chelsea keeper who lets the Leeds man steal the ball off him and walk it into the empty net for the opening goal. Speaking of intensity, Leeds get in front, they get the crowd up, and then they score pretty much straight after the first goal to make it 2-0. And it's 2 players who Leeds are getting such strong attacking output from. Harrison swings the free kick over from the left. Rodrigo gets across the front, glances a beautiful header in for his 4th goal of the season. It was previously a struggle fitting Rodrigo in, but he's up top for Leeds and he's up top in the Premier League scoring charts, out in front on his own. Those first half numbers look really good for Leeds, 2-0 up, and perhaps exemplify what we're trying to say about the changes they're making and how they've gone about winning this game. 5 shots to 1 on target, 0 big chances conceded, no counter-attacks conceded, but look, 15 tackles completed in the first half led to Chelsea losing possession 86 times in the opening 45 minutes. We'll talk about the second half next, but first I would be super grateful were you to hit that thumbs up button down there, like the video and support the channel. Chelsea boss Tuchel responds in the second half by sticking in Ziyech and Pulisic from the bench. Leeds respond to that by going 3-0 up. And it's those 2 key attackers at it again. Rodrigo, this time helping it on for Harrison to finish. The numbers for these 2 are just crazy good at the moment. Harrison, 1 goal, 3 assists. Rodrigo, 4 goals, 1 assist. That's 9 goal contributions between 2 players in 3 games. With Elland Road and the Leeds players absolutely buzzing, they were able to keep the Champions League opponents at arm's length to record a clean sheet and a famous victory, in which Sky were very keen to tell us repeatedly that Leeds ran 11 kilometres further than opponents. Chelsea, in his post-match, Jesse Marsch talked a lot about aggression, intelligence and tackling. On the tackling front, Leeds completed 26 tackles during this game. Now, I know it's only 3 games in, but their tackles per 90 this season is 24.7, which is the highest in the Premier League. When they finished 9th under Bielsa, Leeds were also the best tacklers in the league, but with 5 per game fewer than they are currently recording. In terms of being tougher defensively, Leeds are also second in the division for interceptions and top for fouls, despite only having received 5 yellow cards thus far. Leeds are clearly less possession-based now than they have been previously, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very good thing if you're good without the ball, which they appear to be also. That 9th place finish a couple of seasons back, Leeds averaged 55.1% possession per 90. Only Manchester City, Liverpool and Chelsea were higher that season. So far this season, again, acknowledging there's only 3 games, that's dropped to 45.5%. But they are now much better without the ball. And having less of it, obviously under the 50% number, is clearly part of the game plan, which is clearly working. Thomas Tuchel tried to claim in his post-match that Chelsea were actually in charge because of this at the start of each half. Look, perhaps he's playing to his base a little bit there, and I think 0.72 XG created across the 90 suggests they didn't really make many chances if they did boss the start of each half. So it's a big tick in the box for Jesse Marsch so far this season, and a big scalp and a signature win to hang his hat on, to mix a couple of very odd footballing cliches there. Leeds are clearly harder to play against now. A different type of intensity permeates this team and appears to be really helping the defensive side of things and how good they are without the ball. The loss of Phillips in central midfield seems to be mitigated by the developing partnership between Roca and Adams, and where Rafinha and Bamford have at times picked up the lion's share of the goal getting and assisting duties, Rodrigo and Harrison clearly have that covered. So what a great start and what a great win for Leeds. Get your thoughts in down there via the comments on the game in isolation. Moreover though, where Leeds are at and what they can do this season under this management with these new players and this new looking strategy. This has been Dearly Departed, where we look at the teams I covered in the Championship who very cleverly got themselves promoted. We're trying to give all 6 teams a fair crack, so why not check out the last 2 episodes? You can click here to see my analysis of Fulham's opening weekend draw against Liverpool and the viability of Alexander Mitrovic at Premier League level, or click here to see my take on Brentford and the existence or not of second season syndrome in the Premier League and whether it might be affecting the Bees this season.